So everybody join in 1 second, please. Do 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 do. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. Just paste that there. There we go. Cool. Good stuff. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. And happy Thursday, everybody. So it was the day after Fed Day today. We got a little bit of volatility in after a Fed Day. Imagine that. So pretty interesting stuff there. We'll take a look at all that in a little bit here, but again, we're finishing up our series here this week on Elliott Wave channels and more. And I think you guys are going to like this one. I think it'll be a nice wrap up to the topics this week. I think that you guys will find it pretty cool. But before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off with the market today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening, and what might be setting up going into tomorrow. And then we'll go to the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX, guys, what a day today. So I've got the monthly chart pulled up here on the SPX. Down $1.84 today, right? But at one point it was down a little bit more significantly, right? In fact, the monthly chart was turning red today. And they ended up closing it green so far. Now, we still have a little bit of time left in the month. The month isn't over yet, right? But let's see what they do. We're kind of in a very delicate balance right here. So we need to see how that goes. Weekly chart, we're still bearish engulfing candle, right? So tomorrow, the bulls really need to step up to turn this from a bearish engulfing, did I say bullish? A bearish engulfing candle, to turn it from a bearish engulfing candle into at least something that's not that, right? So, but we're getting a little bit of a lower shadow off of that, so we'll see where we go from there. Again, today's move was decent. Right, we got a lower shadow off there, but it gave us a doji day. So what does that tell us? Absolutely nothing, right? It tells us to be careful, right, and try not to make assumptions, right? Because there was a couple things that could happen, right? We had a red day yesterday, and this could turn into a measured move down, right? It could be a doji sandwich down, or it could turn into a doji reversal, right? Here's an example of the doji sandwich, right? Under the 80 MA, here's your doji right here, right? So down, doji, down, right? So we also get doji reversals, right? So we get, something like a doji reversal. Here's a doji reversal, right? So it could be a doji reversal back up. So really at this point, we're kind of 50-50 either way. Now, obviously we've been bullish, right? A couple things that did happen today is, go to the daily chart. We held the upward trend line today, so that's good. So that's been really bullish for it. And then we got our wave count right here too. So again, this rising wedge ended up working, right? We kind of broke out of there. So the real question is, is this kind of like an A, B, C really tight? Or are we still working on that wave A, which could be an A, B, C? And then we have this A, maybe a little pullback wave B, C for wave B. And then we get an impulsive 5 wave down here for wave C that maybe goes and fills this gap. And then we start to work our way up, right? So we kind of need to keep an eye on this. This is a really, really tricky market right now. I know we're at all-time highs. We're really close to all-time highs, but the market is just not feeling it. Although even though we're getting a lot of algorithmic buying intraday and things like that, right? So So we'll see. We'll see what we have in store. Basically, though, for the futures, guys, we're up about $5.50 here after hours. Tomorrow is what? Tomorrow is quad witching day. So we had Fed day this week. We got quad witching day tomorrow, which means that we got 4 expirations coming tomorrow. We got the monthly expiration. We got the weekly expirations, right? We've got the futures are expiring, right? The Junes, right? The June contracts. So of course, the roll was last week. Most people are in the Septembers now anyway, but you won't even be able to trade the Junes anymore after tomorrow. And then you've got the options on the futures too, right? So all of those are expiring. So a lot of times we get some shenanigans there. So we'll see what we have in store for tomorrow. And then after that, Monday, now we're going to start with a whole fresh set of options coming on, right? And that gives us a whole set of market makers hedging one direction or the other. So I think next week is going to be a little bit less choppy and maybe a little bit more clear on where we might be going because of that. So definitely something to keep an eye on here. So in the meantime, right, futures here look like they're just kind of grinding their way up here a little bit. We're just actually up 2 points here since we started chatting. So we got this going on right here. Kind of broke down under that geometric level right here, but we'll assume that started a fresh one right here. This is the 5-minute chart. So we'll see if that holds here this evening. And again, this is a very, very tight range right here. So maybe it's trying to poke its head above there, right? So just got something to keep an eye on here. And we'll see where we end up tomorrow on this one. So it could be pretty cool. But good stuff there. All right. So guys, today we're going to wrap up our series here on Elliott Wave channels and more. And I think you guys are gonna like this one. So today we talked. This week we introduced the LRC channel and how we can use that in a special way to help us find wave count. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about the Keltner channel. All right, I thought about using TTM squeeze, and really, honestly, in the intraday time frame, TTM squeeze is okay. But after the squeeze is released, now what I like about TTM squeeze is based on the Keltner channel and the Bollinger Band channel, right? So the interplay with those, right? And so that's pretty cool. But I found if you use the Keltner channel, you can also track down some pretty cool impulsive opportunities, right? So let's do this. Let's take a look. And so I'm just going to simply go to the studies right here. I'm just going to type in Keltner, K-E-L-T. Just type in Kelt, and it'll pull up Keltner channels. So that's the default there. I think you can get in Trading View too if you don't have Thinkorswim. And so what we do is we look for this, right? We look for the channel itself. Now, if we're contained within the channel, right? I mean, if we're just kind of riding up the channel and all that stuff, I mean, that's fine. We might be in just a regular wave, or we could be in a corrective wave. But what I found is that if we break out of the channel with increased volume on whatever time frame, that we're probably in an impulsive wave, right? So let's take a look, right? So you can kind of see right here pretty simply, right? So this was today, pre-market, right? So we got a nice push right here. Pre-market, we had some good volume coming here. We got over the Keltner channel right here. Boom, we're in an impulsive wave. So you can start your wave count, right? This kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type move, right? So, and then once we get back in here, right, we can look at the A, B, C corrective pattern, right? And then once we get out of the channel, we could look at our next impulsive wave, right? So, okay, so we're breaking out of the channel right here. Chances are it was at least a wave 1, to get you there, right? So here's your 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle, 5. Once we got out of the Keltner channel. Now let's take a look at this out of the on the 1 minute chart, and just so you can kind of see it a little bit better. I'm going to do it on I'm going to do it on the futures here is fine, but you could also do it on the SPY here if you want to as well, right? So if you look here pre-market, right? So we got this this nice move right here. So we kind of had this initial push. A, B, C pullback. So here's your wave 1, A, B, C, wave 2, and then up, here we go, wave 3, right? So there's your kind of 1, you kind of have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's that nice impulsive wave up right here, right? So that's using the 1 minute chart. If we look here at the breakdown later today, what I'd like to see is what I want to see is the majority of the candle. I forgot to mention this. What I want to see is the majority of the candle closing outside of the Keltner channel with increasing volume. Right, so you can see right here, this one closed out of the candle with increased volume, but it wasn't the majority of the candle, right? We can see that all the time, right? So, you can see that all the time where we kind of tag below it, but we don't see movement, right? So it's like here, we get a little bit of move, we're gonna move back. But look at this, majority of the candle below the Keltner channel, this thing looks like it's ready to go, right? So, so this was a good setup here today. This is one that we talked about in the group a little bit. Nice breakdown right here, and there's your impulsive wave, right? So you just kind of look here. You can look at this really as a 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, 4, 5, right? And then you kind of had this choppy move right here too, right? So we also looked at this too using our the method we talked about yesterday. There was a nice channel right here, a linear regression channel, and this was your breakout move out of the linear regression channel, but it also broke out of the Keltner channel, right? And here's here's one candle right here that closed majority outside of it with increased volume. So you look at your wave count, 1, 2, 3, 4, bull flag, 5, right? So if we stay outside the channel, great. If you don't want to get involved in the pullback right here, you don't have to. You can wait to see we get out of it again. If you're looking for an impulsive wave 5, right, you can look for that next push that takes us out of here, right? This was the candle that closed majority outside the range after that wave 4 with increasing volume, right? So we got that nice move up there, and that ended up being a good trade, right, for about 6 points there on the futures, right? If you're able to hold it to the next levels, good stuff there. So pretty cool stuff. I think the Keltner channel is worth taking a look at, guys, to help with your Elliott Wave counts. Definitely look for increased volume with candles that are closing outside of those channels to help put a wave count on and to help your Elliott Wave trading. So good stuff there. Well, hopefully you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody's got any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can, try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. And tomorrow is Friday, guys. It's quad witching day, and don't forget, fresh contracts coming up next week, right? So good stuff there. Don't be surprised if we see some shenanigans. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing great. PLBY saved you some pain today. I love it. Let's say like PLBY. Yeah. I mean, basically working its way down the channel, right? So we have this inside day down, right? Just kind of see how it does down here. If we could pull back to the channel and then maybe bounce off of that, right? So get those channels up there. I love it. And let's take a look at Amazon. Good grief. This thing's a freight train now. So, I mean, volume really coming in today, right? The B5, which we call like our big 5, the big names that make up the majority of the weight of the S&P 500, also the NASDAQ, We're just super strong today. You had Amazon strong, Apple was strong today, Facebook was strong today. All right, all the big names were strong today, and then of course Nvidia was strong today, and the semiconductors were strong today. Everything was strong today. So that just really kind of held the market. And there was a lot of garbage names out there too. Oil pulled back, banks pulled back, right? So it was a very divergent market today, which is making this whole market rather tricky. But Amazon, I mean, just a beaut, right? Increased volume. I mean, now for me is not the time to get in, right? There's a couple things you could do. Let's do this. Let's actually let's take this and just throw a Keltner channel on here and see how it's looking. See if we had a increased close above the oh, there it is. There's your increased volume candle here above the Keltner channel, right? So you can kind of look at that as, you know, kind of sort of your 1, 2, maybe we're in wave 3 right here. So you got to be careful for a wave 4 pullback and then go, right? So once we got above this Keltner channel with increasing volume, right, we can look for those impulsive moves, right? So that's a pretty cool potential tool to use here, not just on the intraday, but also on the daily chart. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so we'll see if we get any follow through on it. But yeah, it looked like it was aggressively going for all-time highs today. Good stuff, Mike. I really appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend. Shirley, what's going on? Good to see you. Oh, Shirley sent these in via email. So, Shirley, hope you're doing great out there. So, TAL, still breaking down. Still breaking down. So, you know, just kind of keep your trend line up here. Right? And just, looks, you know, continue to be bearish here until proven otherwise, right? So, keep it on that one. BTU. I was going to say, this has to be some sort of thermodynamic company of some sort, right? So anyway, so continue to work its way right up here. It's holding its geometric line on that one, right? So so definitely something to keep an eye on there. And what else? And let's take a look at the NEM. Guys, this was on our bearish radar in our group yesterday. Did I put it in the public game plan yesterday? Did I put this in the public game plan yesterday? Let me see. I did not. I had Intel, but I did have gold. I did have gold as a bearish name, and look at gold too. Look at that. Oh, okay. I know. It's like, okay, see ya. Right. So so pretty interesting stuff. Yeah. NEM again. Big crush now right there. See how it holds the 50-day moving average and see if it goes from there. But yeah, that was one we put out as an idea for our group yesterday at the close. Fitbit. Let's take a look. Oh, bearish engulfing candle. That one looks nasty. With some volume on that one. Just nasty. What did Apple come up with another? Oh, no, I keep on thinking it's Fitbit. Yeah, Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, the bank's just getting crushed today. Bank's just getting crushed today. Where's Wells Fargo? Wells Fargo with a bearish engulfing candle on that one. Just nasty. And the bank's just getting crushed. And it's funny, like, you know, you read all these headlines and stuff about the Fed yesterday, and everybody's saying, like, well, the market's still trying to figure out exactly what the Fed is saying. Well, they seemed to be pretty sure yesterday, right after it. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I mean, what, you know, Fed's got the back. Let's go. Anyway, so good stuff there. Theory, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Neo. Yeah, Neo with a move here today. Neo with a little bit of a push. Right, so Neo looks like it's probably just kind of riding up its Keltner channels right here, but it has been given a nice move here recently, so let's continue to keep an eye on that one. And then Sophie, let's take a look. Sophie. Yeah, just kind of getting tight in this range here. Look and see if we can get a breakout one way or the other on that. Good stuff there. I really appreciate it. Modus operandi, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing great. Yeah, Amazon, super strong candle today. We'll see what kind of follow through we get on that one going in tomorrow. Again, if the market stays strong here overnight, or if you just stay strong, it might get some follow through. Netflix is just such a tough one. It's just such a choppy, sloppy mess, right? I mean, sometimes it just does 180s all the time, right? And it makes it really tough, right? I mean, I remember there was like one day, it was like 9 days straight where it was like back here, it was like green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red. I mean, it just makes it so tough. And it looks like it's doing that right now, and we're kind of in the bottom of the trend box right there. So not messing with Netflix. Disney. Hanging in there. I mean, like we said, guys, top of the channel right here, inside day below the 80 MA, so an increased volume on an inside day, that means it's building up energy, right? So if we break down below that inside day low, watch out, see if it wants to test more downside, maybe start to work its way, maybe the 200-day moving average, possibly the bottom of the channel. So a little bit of caution there. And then Lululemon. So Lulu, the big breakout candle here today. We'll see what kind of follow through we get on this one. Last time we had a big breakout candle back here, where it kind of reversed. Big breakout candle here, kind of went choppy, right? So, but it's doing a little bit of something. You can kind of argue that this is a little bit of a, you know, cup and handle, and maybe it's working on a breakout. But yeah, Lulu occasionally gets a move. So, and when it does, it can be fun. But otherwise, it's a tricky name. But good stuff. Thanks, Modus. Really appreciate it. Messi, long time no see. Hope you're doing great. Let's take a look at Yeti. Nice lower shadow off of the 50-day moving average. Nice find on that one here. JD, Kathy keeps loading up on this one. Let's see if she can get it. She can luck out and get this thing over the 50-day moving average for her. And then JP Morgan just getting crushed, right? All the banks just getting getting decimated here today. A lot of bearish engulfing candles on those. Good find on that. And then XOM, guys, I mean, they were looking strong 2 days ago, and then spinning top reversal. Big increased volume here below the 80 EMA on that one. So keep an eye on the oil names for relative weakness. So good stuff there. Then Nest, what's happening? Good to see a pool getting really, really tight in here. So obviously we want to take, kind of keep an eye on this, right? See how that goes. See how this triangle goes right here. And if we could break out of there, that'd be awesome with some good volume. Maybe we'll give us sort of like a wave 5 up, right? So that would be pretty cool. And then wow, let's take a look. Okay, wow, doji below the 80 EMA. I'd like to see it get over the 80 EMA, of course, right? CELH, let's take a look. CLH, what hung in there today, right? We got an inside day still below the 80 EMA. Let's see if they can try to push that one. PD with a nice breakout of the cloud right there. Let's see if that gets any follow through. Very, very nice find on that one. I remember you pointed this out the other day, and we got these like 3 spinning tops in a row, and boom, nice push to the upside right there. Good find on that. Good stuff. Jack, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You want to look at the Bitcoin, I imagine? So let's take a look here. So Bitcoin had a little bit of a rough day today after it lost 38,000. That's what we put in the bubble report, I believe, this morning. This level right here, if we break below there, watch out. And we got a nice downside follow through, right? 38,000, almost 1,000 point move off of that. Now they're holding this level, right? So let's see how that goes. If we can't get back above here with any sort of strength, right? This may just sort of be like a, kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4. We might see a wave 5 down. So a little bit of caution there on Bitcoin. And John, hope you're doing great. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at Airbnb. Let's see. So Airbnb, wow, really, really super duper tight. Just kind of curling inside day here today. Let's see if we break above those highs. Maybe we can work its way up to the 50-day moving average there. CRM, let's take a look. CRM is trying, right? Trying to make a little bit of push right here. Create breakout candle right here. Back to the retest of the 80 EMA and pushing an upper shadow today too. Shows that the buyers aren't really stepping up. So a little bit of caution there. GZ Growth, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at X. X nasty, guys, and we were hoping it would hold here, but it's hard to be confident in a buy with an increased volume red candle below the 80 EMA, right? Even if we're at a channel in a cloud, right, we still got to let this thing try to at least get above the 80. Couldn't do it, right? So big breakdown here today below the 80 EMA. These a lot of these metal names are getting crushed for some reason after the Fed. And then Disney, yeah, not strong. Just not so strong right here. So again, upper shadow off the 80 EMA. See, increased volume on the inside day, I think is definitely something to observe going into tomorrow. So we definitely want to keep an eye on that one. And Etsy too. Let's take a look, John. Sorry, let's take a look at that one here too. I'm jumping all over the place here. Etsy, wow, this thing is super duper tight. Contraction to expansion eventually. Let's see if we can get a breakout candle on that. See if it's ready to go. Good stuff on there. And Modus, yeah, XLF got crushed just by the both as it came in yesterday after that. I know, isn't that just horror? That's the worst. And it was so. I mean, it was the same thing, right? Everything did the same thing, just in the opposite, right? Today was all about the scene of the breakout. Right, for the XLF. And then it just got some follow through the downside, right? Broke out from the Fed, and then just today is just like, no, I'm going to come back and test it. That would have been our target this morning. We talked about it on the live stream today. And then it kept going. And then it retested it. It's like, no, I just want lower, right? When you go to the, say the SPY, right? So this is, it wanted to get to the scene of the breakdown, right? Which it ended up doing a few times today, right? So scene of the breakdown right here went up and up and up. We were, the linear regression channels that we talked about yesterday, we were doing that live in the group today. So that's why you see all the crazy stuff on here. It's like, woo! Anyway, good stuff there, yeah. And thanks, Modus. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the support. Jack, thanks so much for tuning in. Otas, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're doing great. Yeah, I'll say a look at Zoom. I really like Zoom's chart today. I'm not sure how much follow through it's going to get, but I just like the breakout candle here. I like the pullback to the 80 EMA and then the strong increased volume close above that little bull flag right there. I like that. I think it looks pretty good going in tomorrow. We'll definitely keep that on the radar. It could be on the bullish radar tomorrow. Roku, again, just kind of chopping around this range right now. It could be forming a megaphone really kind of right now, so let's just kind of see which direction it wants to take. mRNA, a little bit of recovery here today off of the inside day down, but it's still below the 80 EMA, so a little bit of caution off of that one. And then SCR, let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so nice move on this one. The score. Let's take a look here and just let's put a linear regression channel on this and just see how this is looking. If I can get this lined up, like with those guys. It actually doesn't look too bad. Let's track this. I like this increased volume candle right here. Right, got a little bit of sideways action, kind of working its way up nicely right here. I like how it's breaking out of these channels, right? So good stuff there and out of the cloud. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on there too. Good, yeah, and PLTR, looking ready for a breakout. Let's see if it goes. Yeah, but PLTR is kind of in a little world of its own. It's kind of government contracting type tech. But I do like the increased volume here over this channel again. Right, so it looked like we were working our way back down to the channel, and they were kind of back up again, right? So I mean, this thing's got a couple different areas of interest. Let's see. I mean, it's just overall pretty tough right here. This is it's such a choppy area. I mean, honestly, it just seems like kind of flat, right? So let's see if it can give us some more strength. But yeah, it would be nice to see it get going again. I mean, it's a pretty legit company, right? They do government contracts. They make money. They didn't make as much money last time, I think, as they were hoping to. Right, I think they were break even last time, and the time before that was a loss. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes for them if they can start, posting some good numbers. Good stuff. Great stuff, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Hopefully you guys found this series helpful, especially if you like Elliott Wave, right? Using these channels can be really good. Using standard channels is a great way to contain your waves, but you can see sometimes it's not entirely clear, right? So you got this A, B, C. Well, when's it going to bounce, right? Well, here we are. We're coming out of the channel right now, so maybe, just maybe, it's starting an impulsive wave up. Yeah, no, see how exactly it needs to dip so you can buy it. So it could be, right? So it could be working its way here. Let's see if we can get over this guy and see if it gets going. Then we talked about linear regression channels this week. We defined it and how to use it, and then we found a special way to use that for Elliott Wave and really powerful stuff. And then we talked about Keltner channels today, looking for increased volume, majority of candles that are breaking outside of the Keltner channel to look for potential impulsive waves using Elliott Wave 2. So hopefully you guys found that helpful, and we'll be back at it again next week with some more fun educational videos, and we'll definitely we're going to, God willing, we'll be here on Sunday with Paul with Algo 382 to do our Elliott Wave show. So hope to see you guys then. Of course, we'll have our newsletter for the group and everything this weekend too. So I hope everybody has a great one. We'll see everybody here bright and early. Oh, the GSHD? Yeah, let's see the GSHD. Yeah, nice follow through on that one. That was a pause candle right there. Up, sideways, up. Very, very nice stuff. Yeah, really, really good stuff. But really appreciate everybody for tuning in. It was a great evening. We'll see you guys bright and here early tomorrow morning on YouTube for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And until then, stay healthy out there. And remember your risk first and stay